The excitement around crypto right now is at one of the craziest levels we have ever seen. I mean, Grayscale right now, for example, is even hosting, are you understanding this? A Bitcoin themed drone event on the beach, right? They're throwing a whole show with regards to the Bitcoin ETFs. And I think it's mostly because the numbers are just that crazy. To give it some perspective, the net cumulative flows for the 10 Bitcoin spot ETFs, including that of Grayscale, was doubled in the past 3 days to over $3 billion. For context, it took gold nearly 2 years to get to this point, after another $500 million yesterday. The 9 alone are nearing 10 billion in flows. I think this is insane. Like, I'm literally starting to think this is it, guys. This is it. IBIT is now the 4th in overall year-to-date flows out of the 3,400 ETFs that are out there, rubbing elbows with the biggest and best, VOO, IVV, QQQ, and FBTC also is there at number 7. Even if you account for a little GBTC inflow help, which was but a fraction of their intake, it's wild shit. I don't think anybody's surprised by me saying it like that though, because Bitcoin right now is just absolutely surging out of control. With the Bitcoin price right now as we speak at $51.5-ish thousand. On CME, I think it almost hit 52. No, actually on CME, I think it went to 52 and a bit. Ethereum right now at $2,750. Solana $115. And let's quickly see what the top gainer is. It's actually Say, up 16% today to 86 cents. Pyth is doing good. VeChain is doing good. And on the second page, we've got AltLayer, Neutron, Echelon Prime, and Nervo is doing amazing. Generally speaking, though, it's an extremely bullish day all around. And like I've said before, I think the main cause right now and the main thing that everybody is watching is these Bitcoin spot ETFs and their flows. I literally almost have no other news to cover that's relevant, because all I see in all my news aggregations, right, is only people talking about top coins that are launching soon or that are out there under $1, etc., or the Bitcoin spot ETFs. Those are the only two things you can find right now in this market, because there's really nothing spectacular about these tech advancements or any new changes of sorts. We're very hyped up and very much in anticipation of the Bitcoin halving in about 2 months from now. But for the most part, we are literally seeing institutions go out there and say how bullish they are on this industry. And what's interesting to us as well is just how many spearheads have said they were wrong about the Bitcoin spot ETFs, and that they were way bullish or way more bullish than expected. But whenever there's good news, there's always some bad as well. And I don't think it's personally bad news. However, that's kind of how they're framing it. So just take a look at this little video that I've got for you. And if you haven't done it yet, make sure you press that like button.
All right, folks, so Bitcoin actually hit 50,000 today, but my next guest says Bitcoin ETFs are sounding an alarm. I'm going to bring in Pomp Investments investor, Anthony Pompliano. And Pomp, you say, that these Bitcoin ETFs, they're sounding the alarm. At first, it felt like everyone, including yourself, were really enthused about it. Did they not go off right? What's the hitch?
The alarm's good for Bitcoiners. If you think about what's happening right here, Wall Street's getting an intelligence test. If you paid attention in Economics 101, you're going to pass this test. There is hundreds of millions of dollars per day flowing into these Bitcoin ETFs, and there's only about $40 to $45 million of net new Bitcoin being produced. So there's 12.5 times more demand than there is supply being created every single day. If there's that much demand and that little supply, the price has got to go up to accommodate everyone. And so my guess is that we're about to see Bitcoin continue to grind up over the next couple of weeks.
So that's the structural buildup for this next big move.
Correct.
So what's holding them back then?
Well, the Bitcoin's not being held back, right? I mean, It was at 47 and went down to 40,000 because everyone was dumping GBTC. Now, all of a sudden, we're back to 50,000. I think 50,000 is a psychological level as well. People get really excited. They say, hey, we're going back towards all-time highs. And as soon as Bitcoiners start saying it, somehow it usually happens.
It does, right? Now, you say you've got the next big bet. Share that with us.
Yeah, so if you look at what happened with the Bitcoin ETF, right? Bitcoin is an asset. It's now been accepted within Wall Street, and now people want to get access. And so we have these Bitcoin ETF issuers. I think that the next big run of equities is going to end up being in altcoin ETFs. And what I mean by that is forget which coin or which protocol, but the altcoin ETF issuers, I think, are going to have a great run over the next 2 years. I've made 3 bets here. I invested in Bitwise. I invested in a company called 21 Shares. And then the only publicly traded company is something called DeFi Technologies. And all 3 of these, they basically want to give people exposure to assets. They don't care which one you pick. They just want to make sure that it's easier for you to put money into this ecosystem in this industry. And I think all three will do well.
So, long story short, the warning here is that institutions are absolutely crazy about it, and that for you, the average Joe, it's going to get too expensive, perhaps really too quickly. And that the next big thing, in everybody's opinion here, is altcoin ETFs. And as we've seen now with Bitcoin, a buy the rumors, sell the news type of event has definitely not been put out of question. But ultimately, you can see the results, right? You can see just how crazy things are doing right now as we speak. And so my thinking process is, do not sleep on things like Ethereum or perhaps a Solana or something along those lines, because the higher that Bitcoin goes, the more likely it is for altcoins to take over. Matter of fact, yes, I hold Bitcoin, and yes, I'm excited for it because the institutions are, and again, there's not enough supply for the demand. But real talk, you ain't gonna make the most amount of money with Bitcoin. It is definitely going to be altcoins. And it's proven itself time and time again. And even right now, I am not buying a single dollar worth of Bitcoin. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about selling a good chunk to just go crazy on altcoins. I've made 1,000 warning videos by now. I've made a lot of these juicy what my strategy is type of videos. I notice they don't tend to do as well as some other sort of videos on my channel, but I don't mind, because hopefully a couple of you guys are drilled up and prepared for the crazy times that are ahead. And every single altcoin I've been buying and I've been talking about in these top coin videos has been popping off. And that's honestly the only thing I care about right now. Just getting into the right altcoins at the right time. I've already explained to you guys the different industries I'm mostly buying, and I'm so crazy bullish right now. And I keep telling you, right now, relatively, the amount of interest in this whole crypto space really ain't actually that much. Just looking back at it on the search trends, you can see back in 2017 just how crazy things were. Then in 2021, things were significantly less crazy because a lot of people knew about it already. I think this time around though, with the ETFs, etc., it should actually get a boost to even higher than the 2017 situation, because right now it's been legitimized and a lot of people will see it in their retirement accounts, etc., and they potentially might look it up. And really, if you start looking at it from a broader perspective, Bitcoin, yeah, it peaked in 2017 and Bitcoin didn't do as crazy afterwards. But if you look at how to buy crypto, for example, you can see just how crazy it was back here in 2021 and just how little the craze is right now. For the most part, that's because right now we're still in the main altcoin category, where a lot of smaller altcoins are not having those crazy flies, and a lot of my friends that are not into crypto are not texting me yet of how to buy or that they just bought a new meme coin. If you guys remember coins like SafeMoon and I guess back then when Shiba Inu started popping off, those are the times that you see these numbers just absolutely spike, and that's when you perhaps should think about cashing more out. Right now, though, we are not there yet. Right now, we are seeing institutional hype, institutional interest, institutional demand that will keep progressing, which is why I'm so adamant about being in crypto right now. It's nice to be right about the bull market. At the end of the day, though, you're playing it for yourself. It doesn't really matter if you're right or wrong. In words, it depends on your actions. And luckily, my portfolios are right now at an all-time high. Things are amazing, and I hope that they'll be amazing for you too. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you press that like button. I've got a top altcoin video coming up soon, and a couple of juicy airdrop tutorials as well, because I notice free money is the best money, and right now we gotta skip from all the Bitcoin stuff and go crazy into altcoins, and I hope you guys are ready. Woo!